Operation Red Death, Chapter 5. I'm... Alright. There's really no way else I can put this. We are now down to 2 subjects. Cadmus Warren and Subject X. Never did get his name, and he was so far past human by the time we got him, there's no way to identify him. Unfortunately, the second subject ate himself. I really wish that was a euphemism, but it's not. He physically ate himself. I am rather surprised that he made it as far as he did. There's got to be some kind of record for being able to eat 37% of your own body mass before death sets in. Really. I mean, probably not a Guinness Book thing. How would you prove it? But... I mean, if there's an open world prize for competitive eating, that has got to be a new category. Unfortunately, that's about all it's useful for. We are studying what's left of him now, but between the radical damage done by mastication, and of course the acidic vomit, which then sort of mingled with the acidic digestive, there was a lot of acid involved, and so there's not a great deal of physical structure left. We are pulling some interesting biologically altered red out of his system. For all I know, that may be useful. Anyway, so we're down to 2 subjects. Now, Cadmus Warren has, as I mentioned 2 months ago, good lord, has it been 2 months? They keep us busy down here. 2 months ago I mentioned that he'd become stable. That's actually was sort of a little psychic on my part. Not that I'm saying I've developed psychic powers. I am not up for study. I do not wish my brain dissected. I'm going to go back and erase that if I can. But I did mention that he'd become stable, and he is, yes, stable, mentally as well as physically. His psychoses all seem to have faded. He's passing several psychological tests. He is no longer seeing viscera in any of his ink blot recognitions, which is nice, but he is getting certified, and apparently, from what I understand, may be returning to the field. I don't know if it's going to be returning him back to the Ordo. I say returning, he never really was. He was assigned to them in Syria. It was a side project, Ashelon or Acheron or something. Wasn't that a video game? No, I must be wrong about the name. What I do know is that they are talking about putting him in the field and studying his combat effectiveness, which I'm going to go on the record as saying is probably going to be amazing. His dermal thickening has hardened to the biological equivalent of several feet of concrete. His bones are much harder. His flesh is, well, alright, gray. I'm not saying that he needs to go unmasked in public, because his skin color is gray, like rock. Physical features are mostly human, though I wouldn't look him directly in the eyes, and by that I sort of mean compound eyes. That does, by the way, seem to be his only ACOB feature. The eyes. The eyes are ACOB-ish. I'm sort of belaboring this point, aren't I? Yes, he has developed some ACOB features, but they all seem to be internal, aside from the eyes, which are very disconcerting. And every time I talk about them, I sort of zone out for a bit. I don't even like looking at pictures of them, to be honest. Well, they won't let me pull them and dissect them. They want him functional. So, until we get another subject that starts to develop them, I guess I'm going to go unfulfilled on that. Anyway, before I let this chapter go, I do want to mention the rest of Cadmus Warren's unit, the 77th Brigade. Now, we only received 4 subjects, but there are 30 or 40 soldiers still in holding who had not, at the time that they were being held, started to exhibit any changes. Aside from the fact that all of the temple's external tests led them to possibly be filth infected. We have since determined that that is not the case, although they are infected by something. Well, now we know what. It's this cross-pathogen. But it's not causing any physical changes on a macro scale. They just seem to be... Tainted is such an unscientific word. But I suppose it's really the only thing that fits. They are tainted. Their genetic code is altered. It just isn't showing any real physical signs yet. Aside from a few, and I have a small list of those with me. Let's see, reduced need to eat, reduced need to sleep. Their physical signs, the vitals are all a little lower than normal. Really, if I had to put a theory, and this is just a theory, I think that they are experiencing physical changes, but not along the ACAB line. I think these changes are all more in effect with the original source. These are red transformations as opposed to the death transformations, the ACAB, the bug juice, as they gave us. Fascinating, really. But, oh, good lord, have I droned on for almost 7 minutes? Yeah. Oh, well. I'll finish this out, then. The 77th require more research, and as soon as I get the time, I will be doing so. Until then, I recommend keeping them in holding, keeping them under observation, and really not letting anyone within reach of them. I mentioned that they have lower appetites, but all of their diets seem to be getting reduced down to more of a liquid preference. Maybe whoever's in charge of them needs to be checking their teeth. Just saying. You know, just saying.